always have been. In the ring and in business. 30 years of battles, rising, falling, rebuilding. I've made money, I've lost money, but it wasn't until I created Zapata Systems was I able to really climb my way out. But the toughest fight, it wasn't physical. It was watching money walk out the door week after week, whether to vendors charging too much or labor not justifying the revenue. That money stress, it doesn't always stay at work. It follows you home, turns into arguments, cold dinners, and broken peace. And then there's the IRS, back taxes, deadlines, pressure you can't punch your way out of. Zapata System shows you what you're really paying. It gives you control, leverage, and savings. This isn't about surviving. It's about winning. You're in a fight. Start acting like it. Zapata Systems. Fight smarter.
All right, guys, we are live. It is Thursday. What's up, Greg?
I like that. Hey, George, just in case you're watching, the best thing you did was marry that woman. She's a great woman. So every guy needs a great girl behind him. And Joe's got a fantastic girl. By the way, I love Joe's girlfriend's voice. She knows that. She has a unique voice. I love her voice. It's very soothing. But I do. You got to have a good girl behind you, too. And I think that makes the biggest difference. When you go home, you have somebody that's like your partner, not your fucking,
Yeah, all that bullshit, right? We got a couple people in the chat actually. He's in there. Luciano says hello.
What's up, brother?
What's going on? My brother's there. He says, great to have you on, Luciano. The boys will be on in a few. We got Brian. Hey, Momos. What's up, Brian?
Ron Simmons. Damn.
Ron Simmons. Damn. Hey, Dan. What's going on? What's going on, man?
What are you doing?
Greg, what is going on? Hey, Greg, so you heard Victor Martinez is in the hospital.
Yes, I did hear that Victor's in the hospital.
I sent him a text message. Did you get any word from him how he's doing?
No, I didn't. I sent him a message, but he's been getting inundated with messages. So basically, he just said, we'll get back to you on that. I don't know. I mean, his family, I think, is handling it. I'm really not. I got to be honest with you. I've been kind of busy, so I touched base with him, but I really haven't been able to talk to him. So I'm not 100% sure what the hell's going on.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you might know because since you were close to
Lucia, I don't know. Yeah. I was going to text him right now,
but he did have one of the best bodies. Obviously, when we're talking about old school bodybuilding, right?
Let me tell you something. Everybody talks about Flex Wheeler's lines. I feel like Victor Martinez had lines just as good, if not better. Flex Wheeler had small joints, but Victor was like full. He had no gut bloat. He was known for the V taper. He actually had Jay Cutler beat that 1 year. I mean, it was, I don't know. I mean, I love his body because I always say this, but Joe, I've been out with the guy 1,000 times. You know what I mean? Whether it's in nightclubs, whether me and him just hung out on the street, or he was, we went to eat dinner many a times, Yep. The fucking guy shows up with normal clothes on. He doesn't try to look like everything's baggy and try to look like, a box walking in there. He could wear normal clothes and he looks good. There's not too many bodybuilders. They look like refrigerators with clothes on. That fucking guy looks good. Chicks love Victor Martinez. Let me tell you something. He did great with girls. He'd walk in a club and he looked good. He didn't look like some over fucking developed, I'm just saying, when a guy can look good in clothes, you know what I'm saying? See, I'm an ugly motherfucker. So you can put me in a suit and tie and I look like an ugly motherfucker with a suit and tie on. But that guy looked good. You know what I'm saying? Even my girlfriend thinks he's hot.
Yep.
Then again, my girlfriend thinks George Bush is hot, so forget about that.
Small says, gentlemen, what's going on? Brian.
Brian's my boy. Brian Pablo's
Marcos, what's up, guys?
Marcos.
Brian says, what happened to Victor Martinez? Well, we don't really know. He just had a emergency surgery. Emergency surgery. That's all I know.
I know he's a good friend of my guys, but I text him, he basically just said, I'll get back to you on everything. He's like out of commission for the moment. We'll find out.
Yeah. He right now at his age looks like he can still get on stage.
I know that Ronnie had sepsis. I know that, but people asking about Ronnie Coleman.
Yes, Ronnie.
He had
Luciano said
such a bad infection and went sepsis, which that's happened to me, and it could kill you like that. You know
like
what I'm
that.
saying?
Mhm. Yeah, one of our friends actually, John Hassel, passed away from sepsis, and it was funny because his wife had seen him in the hospital that day, and or whatever it was, because he went in the hospital with a fever and everything. And they told the wife to go home. He'll probably be released tomorrow. He passed away overnight, and he was like, the sepsis started setting in over the night, and it boom got him like that.
Yep. Crazy. I have a friend. I knew a guy that I used to work with that actually had a bad cold, and he went to the hospital and died in the waiting room because the cold, the whatever it was, the cold infection, whatever the fuck it was, went right to his heart, and it killed him in the waiting room. Mm-hmm. You never know. I mean, there's nothing that's too small that you have to take every little thing, like it's real.
Luciano said, Ronnie's out of the hospital, by the way. Yes. And he had an interview a couple days ago. Yes, he did. Yes.
Ronnie's a good man.
Keith, what's up, Keith, man? You're our man, Keith.
What's up, Keith?
Good guys. What's up, Keith?
What's up, Keith?
Greg Wayne is still alive. Wayne, I guess Wayne D'Amelia.
Wait, you mean Wayne D'Amelia? Yes. Wayne D'Amelia is a fucking great guy, bro. Great stories, great guy. Looks young in person. If you saw him, he's fucking at least 10 years older than I am, and he looks young.
Yeah. By the way, Greg, I saw that documentary. I think Dan told me about. Dan, I think you might have said it. The Poop Cruise documentary. I watched it. Oh my God, what a fucking nightmare that is. That's something you would be on, Greg. The poop cruise. Well, you watch it. It's a poop cruise. It's what happened was a ship went out on sea, and they had a fire on the ship. And when they had the fire on the ship, a bunch of the electronic systems went out, and all the bathrooms in the cabin went back up. Okay. And so they had sent tugboats, so people were smelling shit. Everything was out. So they told the people, because they were smelling shit, said, hey, you can drink for free, which becomes a big mistake because fight starts breaking out. The tugboats start trying to come out there and tug. One tugs the wrong way. The ship goes on its side. All the shit goes into everywhere.
No.
You got to watch it. It's crazy.
That is crazy, bro.
Oh, so William Allen mentioned the poop cruise. Okay, William Allen. Yeah, it was funny as hell, man. I was like, oh my God, that's something you would do, Greg. The poop cruise.
I would contribute to the poop cruise. Is what
you would definitely.
Yeah, I don't drink, so I'd be the only straight guy there, not drunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marco said I watched Patrick interview Wayne and was great. Yep.
Yes, Wayne is a fucking great guy. You have no idea if you know him in person. Great guy. I love Wayne D'Amelia. Great guy. I was supposed to be on Patrick before that. I had the Patrick Bet David. Everybody knows. I had the throat cancer. We rescheduled. Then I had a second throat cancer. Both a day before the I was supposed to be on there, so I couldn't go. And then the third one, it is when they canceled everything because of COVID. So he was in Texas. Then he just shut everything down and moved to Florida. But 3 times. I could probably still get. I have to call his agent guy that asked me to be on. So, but it's been 5 years now. So,
Blue at GN. I don't know what that is from upstate New York. What's up, Blue?
What's up, Blue?
Yep. Keith, Poop Cruise needs Gregg Valentino.
Greg Valentino would have added to the Poop Cruise.
You definitely would have. Blue says, didn't Wayne beat prostate cancer?
Yes, he did. Yes, Wayne had prostate cancer. Yep.
Wow.
You saw Wayne in person. He looks good. He's got the best stories too. Remember, Wayne did what you guys don't understand is Wayne D'Amelia is the one. Not only did he start the Night of Champions, which turned out to be, big show, but he started all that European tour shit. And all. Before him, it was just the Olympia. Like he did. They didn't have any of that other shit. You know what I'm saying? He expanded bodybuilding, pro bodybuilding into what it became. It was Wayne D'Amelia, you know what I mean? He did it with the Weeders, but I'm just saying he's the one, the brain trust behind all that shit.
Luciana said, Gateway Putin has an article explaining Trump's swollen ankles. They speculate it's vein insufficiency.
Gateway pundit, yes. You're talking about he has a vascular. It's just, he needs to stop eating fucking high sodium. They told him stop eating McDonald's all the time. Stop drinking Coke. That's not diet. Okay. And start, he exercises by, hitting golf balls, but they want him to start exercising a little bit more. It's nothing major. It's something that a lot of older people get, especially if you're kind of sedentary. It's almost like varicose vein type thing, but it's a vein issue. And he can beat it. They said, drink lots of fluids, stay hydrated, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Keith says, we have Superman, but New York's tri-state area has Enema Man Valentino.
That's right. Poop Man.
That's right. It was great. You got to watch that documentary. You'll like it.
Dude, I heard the new Superman is woke as hell.
I saw it, and
You
you know
did?
what? I did. I watched it. I was at the premiere.
Wait, it
I
wasn't woke?
I thought it was fine. I mean, wasn't the best Superman movie ever, but I thought it was
Right.
okay.
Who
It
plays
was okay.
Superman, Joe? Who plays him?
David Cornsweet plays him, and he's
Oh.
David Cornsweet. He's a new upcoming actor.
Okay.
He did a good job. You know, people were like this and that about it. It was
I don't know.
okay.
I just heard on the internet, oh, it's woke and all this other shit, you know, that
No, it wasn't.
different
I mean,
phrases.
it wasn't too woke. I mean, you know, and like I said, I don't like the woke shit either. But I mean, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't. I mean, everyone go see it, check it out for yourself. It was not too bad. Patrick said, Marco said, Patrick is focused on Trump. He's not doing any bodybuilding interviews anymore.
Yeah, I know. See, that's the whole thing. But Patrick used to read my columns, so he liked the whole rambling freak. So he had all this shit laid out for me because I knew they had told me ahead of time. I don't care what they I tell them, you can ask me anything, even most personal shit. I don't give a fuck, you know. You could ask me the color of the inside of my girlfriend's asshole. I don't give a shit. So, excuse me. What I'm saying is, Patrick used to read the Rambling Freak. I don't know if you guys know this, but Patrick he himself was into bodybuilding. And he's a big bodybuilding fan. And he loved my Rambling Freak column. So that's why he wanted me on. For talk about not the big arm shit, the Rambling Freak shit. Of course, he's going to bring up some of that shit. But, you know, I don't care.
I think he was juicing too.
He might have. He might have been juicing. But you know what, though? When he was going to have me on, I didn't even know who he was. You know what I mean? This is 2020. Okay. Again, this is when I had the throat cancer. The day before my surgery, I was supposed to be on a show. I couldn't do. I can't fly out there. What am I going to do? Fly back in at 7 o'clock in the morning, be at the hospital I can't do that. You know, I couldn't do it. I had to put it off. So then we put it off for a couple of weeks. And then a couple of weeks later, I had the second surgery. Okay. And I couldn't do it again. It was like a day after, I think I would have had the surgery, which I stayed in the hospital for a week. Then finally he pushed it off, you know, a couple of weeks later. And then that's when, you know, I had a third surgery, but it was a week or two after that. And then it was already shut down COVID. So that's what, but I didn't even know who he was, to be honest with you.
Blue said, I was at the last NOC in 04, Night of Champions in 04. I think Branch won.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think you won.
Branch, I've been at every one of them. Branch is great. I was there in 78.
AR, hey Greg, out of all the guys you ever met over the years, who would you say is the biggest scumbag in bodybuilding? That's a good question, AR.
Now listen to me,
Lou.
Lizzie. Lou, Franco. Sometimes a lot of the older guys weren't so nice. Some of the new guys aren't so nice. It depends on what you want to call as a scumbag. If you met Ronnie Coleman and you went up to him and started talking, he would talk to you. He wouldn't treat you like you're. Some of it would have been like, "Hey, what's up?"
No, I love Ronnie.
You know I mean, there's a lot of guys, but Ronnie, you could talk to him. I mean, if you're gonna go up to, excuse me, Ronnie, let me ask you a question. I was taking testosterone with Trent. Should I be? And he'd be like, I don't, nobody's gonna want to talk to you about that. I'm gonna be honest with you. So if you're gonna do that, but as a part of friendliness, Ronnie's one of the best, and I'm just telling you that. I worked with all of them. Now they'll treat me a little different than they would treat you guys because I'm in the industry, okay? But I've seen how they treat guys, and when they're not in the industry, and some of them are pricks. I'm just telling you. Like if you had a kid, and your kid went up to Lou, you know what I mean?
A Hulk, Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, he won money. He didn't want to take a picture. Sure, he got 50 bucks.
I told you that story before, Greg. I told you.
It happened to Joe. It happened
to me. Lou Ferrigno had a book out. He had a book out that he got. My son went up. We bought the book. It was $40. Then so he said, okay, book. So then my son got the book signed, $40. And then I think he got whatever, signed something for him. So then my son asked for a picture. He said, that's an extra $20. And I said, we just bought the book for $50 or whatever it was. He said, no, extra.
And how old was your son, Joe?
At the time he was, 6, 7?
You say you're going to charge a 6, 7-year-old? I've seen it happen with him. And the people used to, when I did the whole article in Muscular Development, I'm not here to bash Lou because then, God forbid, he's so happy, by the way. But the thing is that, I got 100 videos. I actually showed it. I think it's in the cutouts. I'm not sure if it ever made the movie. Dude, I'm so bad with shit. But I think it's in the cutouts with Bigger, Faster, Stronger with Chris Bell. I had 2 big, giant, green, hefty bags. Okay, garbage bags full of mail from guys from jail. I used to get mail like you wouldn't believe. Right? Big garbage bags full. And I had videotapes too. And I would show him, and he was like, holy shit. Because people would actually videotape him doing fucked up shit. Like, a kid coming up to him. Can you, even in a restaurant, can I get my picture taken with you? Yeah, you got money? Kids. So But it's not just him. There's a lot of guys like that, guys.
Yep. Luciano said Patrick is super busy. So many current events. It's ridiculous. Great show, by the way.
Listen,
you.
he made it. He made it big. I mean, there's a lot of guys who started out small. What are you gonna do?
Brian, AR for me, it's Lou Ferrigno. Yeah, it's Lou for me too.
Dude, it's all over the internet. All you have to do is Google that shit. It's all over the internet.
And it was funny.
Let me tell you about Yates. Okay, Yates and I've had a little disagreement. Nothing bad. It was my fault though. 100% my fault, because I did a story and I told in Ramlet Freak, I talked about how he got KO'd by some fucking MMA fighter, and he got a little upset with me, and we met in person, me and Yates, and he told me, why didn't you just get a hold of me and ask me the story? And he's right, I should have asked. He says he was sucker punch, whatever. I don't think Dorian's a bad guy. Actually, I like Dorian. I think he's very smart, but he's kind of quiet. His personality's kind of stiff. It doesn't mean he's a prick. It just means some guys are outgoing, other guys are just quiet guys, But when he does all that, I watched all the Zen, and I eat good, I eat like this, that, the other thing, but then you take like fucking magic mushrooms and shit. It's like, dude, you lost me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dan said Nasser just seemed rude and short with people. Yeah, I got a funny story about Nasser too.
Well, Nasser was fucking great to me. I think he liked the fact that I was really jacked. I don't know, but me and him got along great. But go ahead, what's your story?
So me and my friend were at one of the shows, and Nasser was there. I was young, obviously. I was real young. And so my friend said, Nasser, can I get a picture? And he looked at him and goes, no, because I'm thinking. And we didn't even know what he meant by that. He said, I'm thinking. So we're like, you're thinking? And he's like, yes, I'm thinking right now. And then he walked away. So we didn't know what the hell. But
that's like,
he's a strange dude, man. He's strange.
That's like when me and Bob Bonham had that fight and shit. Bob was actually having the fight. I was holding the other guy back. And it was Mike Tyson came out and he was like, told me and Bob next time like that. And I was like, what the fuck did that mean? We were afraid we were going to get our asses kicked by Tyson, but whatever, you know what I mean? It was Bob was beating the shit out of his friend, slamming him up against the, what do you call it, payphone. Everything. It was bad. The friend started it. And Bob had a really bad temper. You know what I mean? He would took no shit. I'm going to tell you that right now. He would have fought Mike Tyson. He would have got killed. But I'm saying he had no fear. You know what I'm saying? But Tyson, that's when Tyson got the tattoo, because when we saw, we were all at the diner together, and he had the fucking bandage on his face.
Wow. Brian said, I met Lou and I didn't like how he said to me, for $50, you can have a photo of me.
Brian. Yes, Brian, that story's everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Happened to me. Dan, Yates does not seem of a
does
thing.
Seem a little dark. I get that. I don't dislike Dorian. I just think he's a very intense. He's kind of a quiet guy. I did see the interviews with him where he's talking about like, eating good and this and that, and, doing the Zen and the yoga and all that bullshit. But, you do the magic mushrooms, bro, you lose me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yep.
Patrick, Keith said, yeah, Patrick by David loves bodybuilding. He had Dorian Yates on.
Yes. He's listen, you guys don't understand. He's a bodybuilding fan. Again, he used to be a big read MD. He used to read Muscular Development, and that's how he found me, and wanted to talk with me. First impressions, yes, that's 100% right. Look at Joe's kid. Joe's kid's 6, 7, 8 years old.
Yep.
I mean, dude.
Now he don't care about Lou Ferrigno. Now he's like, whatever. As a matter of fact, we went to a show recently or whatever it was, maybe a couple years ago, and Lou was there again, and no one would go up to him. He was sitting by himself, waiting for people to come up to him. Nobody went to him.
Because after a while, you get that reputation.
After a while, people probably like, you know what, fuck you.
There's other pro athletes like that. Joe DiMaggio was like that. Mickey Mantle had moments of being like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. That's why, why Babe Ruth's signature is not worth much, because he gave it to everybody. He used to sign balls and go to the playground and throw with the kids, and he was, Ty Cobb's signature is worth more. Wasn't in my opinion, the greatest baseball players ever was Babe Ruth. But regardless, because Ty Cobb didn't sign any autographs.
Yeah.
Okay?
88 said, hey fellas, hope all's well. What soda pop are you drinking today, Greg?
Soda pop. It's funny because I'm from New York. We don't call it pop, whatever that. It's diet. Diet with diet birch beer. It's root beer. Diet root beer. It's clear. It's diet. Wait, where is it? Polar. Why can't I turn that right? There it is. Polar. Diet. I don't drink anything with sugar.
You know who's the biggest asshole in baseball? My friends told me, and one of my friends was a reporter there. is Barry Bonds when he was the biggest asshole to ever
Dude,
meet. Barry Bonds.
you know how you know? There's ice in here too. So if you wonder what am I chewing, because it was I freeze it and then unfreeze it. Listen, Barry Bonds. The case for Barry Bonds is Barry Bonds didn't even sleep in the same motel as the other guys. He would have his own motel, and he would not even go on the team bus with the other guys. He had his own transportation, and it's same thing with Ken Griffey Jr. As a matter of fact, Barry Larkin, who was a superstar, I think might be even in Hall of Fame, who was the shortstop on the Reds, told Ken Griffey Jr., this team is fucked because of you. Because nobody on this, they can't afford to get anybody else because you paid so much money for you, and you know he didn't like his attitude and everything. Well, the rest of the Giants didn't like. A lot of them didn't like Barry Bonds because he was cocky and it was all about him. And the focus of the team, instead of focusing on the team winning, they were more focused on seeing if he could break the record. And dude, not for nothing. None of these guys are even close. I was sick the other day watching that grease job for Hank Aaron. Let me tell you something about Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, Google it, had 4,000 more at-bats than Babe Ruth. 4,000. He wasn't even in Babe Ruth's wheelhouse. Okay, number one. First of all, when Babe Ruth played, the bats were fucking hand-whittled. Okay, the balls were hand-sewn. There were no machines. You know, okay, number one. Number two, you got to remember something. First of all, I thought that fucking Willie Mays was a better ball player than Hank Aaron, okay? Because Willie Mays was unbelievable. You can't compare these guys. Babe Ruth averaged a home run 1 every 9 at bats. So I don't want to hear any bullshit. But you know, this whole suck job with that All-Star game and then the rap shit and
getting crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Said, LOL. I knew Greg was going to say that. William Allen said to me, Nasser was funny. Yeah, he was just like weird funny, man. He was kind of crazy.
Dude, Nasser actually came to me and said, dude, let's get pictures taken together. So we took pictures. He actually came to me. Now, we know each other already, and I'm in the industry. But, you know, back then I was 278 pounds at 5'6". That's pretty fucking big.
Brian said, I didn't have to Google it about Lou. I experienced it in person, what he was like. Yep.
I know, Brian. I hear you on that one.
I like this name right here, Nick Kerr. Greg, what's your thoughts on
I get what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on Bob Baff?
Never heard of him. I don't know who he is.
Yeah. Jeremy, what's up, Jeremy? Yo, fellas, what's up, Jeremy? Hope your arm is feeling better. Hope Windward Attack and our boy John Saldy's doing better. You know, I hope they're doing all right.
John Saldy, I hope you're doing better. Win War.
Yep. Keith said Big Lou and Franco Colombo are Greg's favorite.
Listen, it's sad because you're not far from being right. When I was young, okay, and coming up, obviously like them two guys. Lou was an Italian American from New York, which that's me. Okay. I don't mean to be like that, but that's and Franco was a shorter body, but he's a lot shorter than me because I've met him a gazillion times. But I'm saying, he was just so jacked, and he was like right there with Arnold. And if Arnold didn't win the Olympia, Franco would have wound up winning. So I really liked Franco until I got.
And Greg, I know with you, Lou's family weren't on the best of terms.
No, I mean, I was friends with his dad and his brother. His brother's the one who came to me when I did the story in MD magazine. And I'm the one who got him into fucking National Enquirer, because I've been in National Enquirer a bunch of times. So I hooked him up with the National. But Andy, his brother Andy, who I used to deal with, and he had a cousin, I can't remember his name. You're talking about this is like in the late 70s, early 80s. I knew these guys from back then. And Matt. Matt used to give me free shit sometimes when I buy a bunch of stuff. He told me some stuff. They're the ones that came to me. I didn't go to them. They came to me. I got the fucking deathbed letter and shit. I'm not even going to go into that one.
Yeah. Marco said Yates on a merch shirt. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Blue said there's a great mini documentary on Nasser on YouTube. I think I've seen that. Actually, I think it was pretty good. I think you're right, Blue. There is one. AR, it's a shame that these guys are dicks. They don't realize how many people look up to them. Yeah, that's true, man.
It is true. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what did I say in the movie Bigger, Stronger, Faster? Sometimes the guy you grew up like idolizing and becoming a hero, when you get to meet him, it's a fucking letdown. You're like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter whether it's an athlete, a movie star, a rock star, somebody, it's sometimes the person that you idolize is a piece of shit.
Yeah. One of my friends was, like I said, was doing something with Barry Bonds, and he said, my friend said to him, hey, when you see Barry, tell him that so and so said hello, and you know, whatever. So he went up to him and said, "Hey, Barry, so and so said hello." He goes, "I don't even know who that guy is. Get away from me." And my friend's like, "Oh, he was at my wedding. How could you?" You know, he's like, "He's just an asshole."
They like to fuck around. You know what it is? They're you know, he's an asshole. Barry Bonds is an asshole. He was a cocky. Listen, he was a great hitter, and then he got jealous when McGuire and what's his name started hitting home runs and Sosa, because Sosa sucked until he started taking steroids. So he figured, you know what, he put on like 40, 50, 60 pounds. Barry Bonds. So what he did, he hit with authority, but he was a hitter. He was a fucking high average hitter. So that just made him have more strength, and he hit the ball with more authority. So he never had, he was a Hall of Famer, whether he hit those home runs or not.
Yeah.
You know, he was a great hitter.
Yeah. In the locker room, my friend said that he, like, you know how you have your own locker in the locker room, and some players would get, like, some of the better players would get like 2 lockers, maybe more room. He said Barry Bonds had a side of the wall all by himself.
Without it. They did everything.
And he said by himself, whole side of a wall.
Listen, guys, listen to this. Why do you think that the Mets, like even the Yankees, didn't? There's a lot of shit with what's his name? Soto. Listen to me. They just said that Soto was freaking out because he didn't make the All-Star game, right? You get like $100,000 or fucking $500,000 bonus if you make the All-Star game. He was pissed. Dude, you're making $765 million. $100,000 to you is like $5 to me and Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be kidding me. That's not even going to make, you know, and he's so worried about the money, and he the whole thing that made him go with the Mets over the Yankees too is his family got luxury boxes, and you know the Yankees used to throw his mother. His mother was entitled. She would come down into like where the ball players' families come, and you know they wanted to eat and do it, and they told her, no, you can't just come down here at will. You know what I mean? You have to. So you know that was one of the deciding factors.
Yep. William said with Yates, I think it's up to his upbringing. Maybe. Luciano said, is there any nicer guy in bodybuilding than Lee Haney?
Lee Haney's a good guy. He's a very good guy, but he's like a very spiritual guy. See, like I get along great with him. He's here, blah, 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 blah. But you know, when I start going into crazy shit, like he was going to come on the show with me and Joe, but he's like, listen, just don't let Greg ask me like fucked up questions or say crazy shit, because he's very spiritual. If I started talking like, man, my girlfriend threw a fart in my face while I ate her ass or something like that, he would be like,
yeah.
He doesn't like, he's very spiritual.
Yeah, Lee was going to come on with me. Me and Lee were talking. He's like, can you just tell me what Greg's going to ask you? I'm like,
because he gets nervous. You know, we know each other.
Yeah.
That whole Ramblin' Freak stuff. There's a lot of people. Even Lou told Steve Blackman, Valentino cheapens that magazine with all that stuff he talks, you know. But guess what? It was the most popular column. So up your ass.
Yep. Keith said, Nasser, I'm thinking you're an a-hole. Maybe. William Allen said, no matter what business you're in, you have to be approachable.
Yes.
100% true. 100% true. 100% true. Jeremy said, Terrell Suggs used to tell kids that get the F out of my face when they wanted autographs. Seen it firsthand. That sucks.
Who's Terrell Suggs?
He's a football player.
Okay. I figured it was.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that though, guys. It's a lot of that shit. There's a lot of guys who will totally ignore you. I get along great with Sean Ray, but I've seen him do the same fucking thing. Totally, like if you talk to him, he just ignores you, like you're not even standing there. Not me, because I'm in the industry, but I've seen it happen. Do you understand? Where, you know, I get along great with him. I mean, you know, we were good friends and stuff, but he just, when there's other people there, they start talking to me, average Joe. He just make believe he could ask a question. Shoot, excuse me, Sean, can I get a picture taken? And he'd be like, you know, saying something to somebody else. He just, you know, like you're invisible.
Yeah. If I was like the biggest actor in the world, I would never be that way. I couldn't. I'd be too nice.
I told you, Triple H was the best.
Paul, I'd be too nice to people.
Best. He was the best. And, you know, I mean, I don't want to tell a story a million times on here. Probably, you know, people are like, I heard that. How many times are you going to repeat the same story? You know, but I'm telling you, he was great. Whereas he'd talk to anybody. You
know what Jersey actor is a real asshole?
Who's that?
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis? He's from Jersey?
Yes, he is.
Bruce Willis is from Jersey?
You didn't know that? Bruce Willis is from Jersey.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, he is. Bruce Willis is from New Jersey.
Oh, shit.
Yep. That's why he's the biggest asshole. Yep.
I didn't know that.
I can tell you stories. It's just a lot. Luciano said, Zapata, I agree. Remember when Barry Bonds hit the record-breaking hotel? He didn't even acknowledge his son. Oh, wow. I don't remember.
People like that. Some people like that.
Monster Tune, was Lee Haney the last true king of bodybuilding in terms of an aesthetics for Mr. Olympia winner?
I mean, I guess if you would want to call it that. Some people think Phil Heath had great lines, which he did. I mean, Ronnie Coleman was fucking natural and he was competing in the Olympia. Before he ever took steroids, he looked fucking amazing. And the first year he won, that body was aesthetic, was everything. Okay. Go look at the first year I was there when he won in New York. I was front row. I mean, I was right there. It was a battle between him and Flex. Everybody thought Flex was going to win, but Ronnie just overtook him.
What do you think about Serge Nubret?
Serge Nubret had a great body, but when he posed, it kind of got like he looked great from kind of twisted from the side and just standing there. He had great abs, nice pecs, and everything. But when he posed, he didn't have that lat spread and all that. You know what I'm saying? He maybe standing there, he looked better than anybody's ever looked, just standing there. But you know, high calves and shit. In his era, he was great. I like Serge Nubret. I've met him a bunch of times back in the day. But I mean, you know, his aesthetics were great when he just stood there. But when he posed, he kind of disappeared. He didn't have that lat spread and everything.
Berto Fox?
Berto Fox was pinched. Like, shoulders were thick and big, but he was pinched. Another one posed like this and then posed down like this. I met him many times. Not a nice guy. Not a nice guy. I used to train him in the gym, and he'd be there every day. And if you tried to talk to him in the gym, I was one of the guys in the gym. I worked out at Worlds in the morning and at Golds in the afternoon. And in the morning, that's where I saw Schwarzenegger used to come into Worlds in the morning. But he was not a nice guy. He didn't talk to anybody. He was a kind of a prick.
No, that's why he went to jail.
He was a big motherfucker. He was thick, but he wasn't broad. Like, he didn't have that fucking like this, you know?
Wow. Keith says, Greg, try Zivia root beer. Much better than your free stomach.
Yeah, Joe gave me Joe Zapata.
Yeah, I gave him the Zivia beer. Yeah.
That way. Yeah, Joe Zapata gave me that. Yeah, I do. I love it. It's just that this isn't a bottle, and you know, it's clear. It's clear. It's like a clear. It's birch beer, but it's the same for root beer. Same shit. You know, I like root beer. You know, that's my thing, and that's what that is. It's diet.
Greg, how's Jimmy doing? Is he still working crazy hours?
Yes, Jimmy's doing very well, and he's working crazy hours. You know, Jimmy's Jimmy. You know what I mean? Jimmy's a survivor. He's a workaholic, and the guy, I don't know how he does. He goes all the way upstate New York, and it comes all the way back. And dude, when you got to go on Long Island, oh my God, dude, Joe, have you ever been on a Long Island Expressway?
Holy shit. Yeah, that's a pain.
Dude, for no reason. There's a guaranteed traffic jam, no matter what time of day or night, whatever. There's always traffic on that parkway. Fucking always.
AJ88 says Franco was a jealous fucker.
Franco was.
Yep.
He was not a nice guy.
John Scuderi, what's up? What's going on, fellas?
John Scuderi. What's going on?
What's going on? Monster Children, he says, Joe Zapata, you got a lot of size on you. Did you ever think of joining wrestling back in the day? I actually did think of joining wrestling, but I was doing judo and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, Joe was a big judo.
I'm doing all the judo and jiu-jitsu stuff. But I thought about wrestling actually to do it. Believe it or not. AJ88, nice shirt, Greg.
Yeah, that's my 1980 shirt. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody was like, "You got the Greg Brady shirt going on there?" You know, I've been wearing this for years, but everybody's like, "Oh, thanks."
Knight Rider said, "Greg, why don't you ever show your upper body shots? How you show your legs?"
You could see my upper body right through the. I could show it. I just like the fact that legs are something that nobody has, and my shit. You know what I mean? Considering I do one set, and I'm not on fucking trend and this and that and all this shit. You know, I just do one set for the fucking. But I got to show you the hamstrings because the hamstrings are even better than the thighs. Dave Palumbo says, "Bro, your hamstrings." Like when we were in Alabama, I got a video here. I could actually send it to you, Joe. Me and Larry just it's actually a picture of me and Larry doing legs. And Larry actually looked pretty fucking good. He looked better than I thought he was gonna look. You know what I'm saying? When we showed the legs, I don't think anybody could beat me, but that's just my, because I have that small hips where my legs branch out past. It's a structure, you know what I mean? I'm lucky with that.
Monster Tune said, what is Greg's choice for his death row meal? Your last meal?
Oh, Christ. Oh, man, I don't know. That's tough. Well, I love good steak, so it would have to steak, meatballs, and probably spaghetti. I'm not the fucking guys. I hate to say it. I go to fucking exclusive Italian restaurants with certain people. Like I'm going out with Jimmy the Bull, and I go to fucking. We've gone to Little Italy and everything like that. And He usually likes bolognese sauce, which is great, gravy with, with the meat and shit. I'm not really, I could eat that, but my favorite is just spaghetti and meatballs. They have all this other shit on the menu, and I'm a basic Guinea eater. I like spaghetti and meatballs, a really good steak, and that's
But
it.
no onions or garlic.
No onions, no garlic, and nothing hot.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing with like fucking hot peppers or any of that. No.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
I'm very bland eater.
Yep. CK. Hey, Joe. Greg, what did you think of James Gunn's Superman film? Greg didn't see it.
I didn't see it. I never even heard of the guy James Gunn. Never even heard of him.
Yeah, he was a Marvel director for a while. Yeah, look, it wasn't too woke as people were thinking. It's not too bad. Not my favorite Superman. Not my favorite Superman movie, but it was not bad. Go see it and it wasn't even my best movie of the year, comic book wise. Thunderbolts was better, but it's okay.
It's funny, Joe, because I grew up watching Superman, with George Reeves. You know what I'm saying? George Reeves, rather, on the black and white.
The black and white one.
I grew up watching that because that's my era. You know what I mean? So I used to love that show. That was one of my favorite shows. It's Superman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. John Scuderi said the thing that bothers me is when genetically gifted freaks like Haney give advice that's not practical for normal everyday gainers.
John Scuderi, you hit the nail on the head. There are some guys who can just sneeze and blow their nose. You know what I mean? It's just like when, guys like fucking talk about this is how you build six-pack abs. Meanwhile, they've never had an ounce of fat on them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you're like, dude, you were born with those abs. You know what I mean? Like, you're not an expert on abs. It'd be different if he was once a fat slob and now he's got ripped, shredded abs and he's giving you his, oh, that's you. He's given his recipe how like he lost all the fat and got out. But you're right, John. When a guy's got Lee Haney, could perform certain exercises, totally fucked up, use bullshit weights or whatever, but still be jacked because he had the genetics. He could blow his nose and put an inch on his arm. You're right. There's a lot of that, though. A lot of those guys are genetically gifted. And that's why you can't listen to that shit on the internet, or these kids in the gym will always ask me, like Nick Walker says to do this and that. First of all, Nick Walker's on every, these guys are on every chemical known to man. You know what I mean? And second of all, they're genetic freaks and eat 10 pounds of fucking this a day and take, boatloads of that, so.
Yep. I have a friend who he's a black guy and he never picked up a weight in his life, but he has those black genetics, and his tricep is so big, and he's never picked up a weight.
Guys like that. Dude, I see crackheads in New York City. Go to New York City. You'll see crackheads laying on the sidewalk and shit that never lift a weight in their life. And they got every little ab, fucking pecs, delts, and everything. They're not huge, but you just say, holy shit, if that guy just put I told you, I had a guy in my gym that came off the street with a black dude. And he came in, and after 3 months of training in the gym, he actually did fuck around a little bit of steroids, just a little bit. But after 3 months he went from nothing, never working out in his life, to after 3 months, and he won a bodybuilding show, the whole overall. That's how good genetics were just that superior.
Yep. Keith said Bonds gained 20 pounds in his head. Would have said, yeah, he did when he took all that stuff.
He did.
Barry Bonds did. Yep. Keith said Lee Priest is the best star bodybuilder.
Yeah, Lee Priest is unbelievable. I mean, his body was complete from top to bottom.
Yeah. AR said, Greg, did you get along with Steve Weinberger? I heard he's another one who isn't approachable.
Yes, I get along very well. He's approachable, but if you get on his bad side, you're in trouble. I got along very well with him, but the ironic thing is his biggest enemy ever in the sport and all that stuff was my friend Bob Bonham, my best friend. And so I had to separate that. You know what I mean? Because when I worked, I worked for Muscular Development Magazine, and Steve Weinberger and Steve Blackman were very close, and sometimes Steve Weinberger would write articles, and I had to, Bob understood that I can't just your enemies become my enemies, obviously, if there was a fight or something, but I can't, I had to stay neutral on that, but that was a personal thing between those two. It had nothing to do with me. He never treated me bad. It wasn't that he treated Bob bad. It's that sometimes you stick two male baboons in a cage with each other and they're going to fight for dominance. And it's more about that.
Yeah. I've met him once or twice. He seems okay.
He's very good with me. I don't think he's a prick to people. I mean, I just think that he takes no shit, though. I can tell you that, like if you're, if you're trying to get backstage and your friend's competing in a show and you want to help him out and you try to sneak back there and he sees you, you're in trouble. And if you fucking start trouble, I don't care if you're a UFC fighter or not, he's got guys that are there that will fucking drag you out in the back. I'm just telling you that.
Do you think he was with Bev Francis to kind of move his career?
I think he really liked her. I mean, I loved her. I think he fell in love with her. He liked that. You know, some guys like jack chicks. I don't, but some guys do.
She should have won, Bev. She was jacked. I mean,
yeah, but she, you know what it is, but she didn't exude the femininity that another girl who was just as built as her. Like if you look at her like back then, right? If you go look at pictures of her when she competed back when nobody was big, she was the biggest one.
Yes, biggest one.
You would say there's a lot of girls that are bigger than that. Even today, forget it. But what she kind of looked off. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so it didn't work.
John Scuderi said, Greg is probably the only well-known person in the bodybuilding world that will talk frankly about Weinberger without kissing his ass.
Yeah, I mean, I get along, you know, John, you know Steve. He's a good guy. To me, he's a good guy. I get along very well with him. But I also know that, you know, you know, you can't, you know, he knows. I told him, listen, and I told both him and Bob, I'm not getting in the middle of you two. You two want to fight and kill each other. That's whatever. You know what I mean? I have nothing to do with that. You know, if it's different, I'm always going to have my friends back if there was a trouble there. But there was no trouble. It was an ego thing too. Because you got to remember something. Steve Weinberger owns Bev's gym, which is a legendary gym. But Bob Bonham owns Strong and Shapely Gym. And I'm going to tell you something. I'll rival Strong and Shapely Gym against any gym. It was that good. I mean, you know. He had some great pieces, and I think it was that thing, because originally they used to try to say that Bob Bonham's gym, Strong Shapely, was the mecca of bodybuilding on the East Coast, and then Steve said, no, my gym, and the fact that Bob was in with Wayne and Steve was in with, you know, the guys that push Wayne out. So it's a long story, but I'm not going to get in the middle of that. You know what I mean? You know, but, you know, Weinberger respects me because I came to him and I told him, listen, even when we had the MD barbecue, I don't know if you remember that, Joe. I'm not sure if you were there, but we had the MD barbecue. We had it at Strong and Shapely Gym. And I told Steve, listen to me. Because Steve Bleckman told me, whatever you do, because it's the MD barbecue, you have to fucking square that away with Steve Weinberg. And I said, fine. You know what I mean? Because, you know, Steve Bleckman could have very easily said, let's do it at Weinberger's gym first. But it was my idea. Well, I went to Steve Weinberger like a man, and I told him, listen, I want to do an MD barbecue, and I want to do it as, you know, at Strong and Shapely, because Bob's my friend. And he told me, I respect you coming to me like that, and I respect the fact that you're with your friend. And he said, I have no problems, just don't promote it as an NPC or IFBB event. And I have no trouble with that, no problems. That's it. So, you know, we respect each other. I like Steve Weinberger, I got no problem with him. You know what I mean? Again, that was between two male baboons.
Keith said, AR, you are correct. Jeremy said, Surge way of training lightweight high sets is where it's at.
Yeah, you know, listen, I do that type of training. John Defendis was my guy growing up, and you know, he did the Steve Mihalik Intensity Insanity, you know, so that's what I still do that. The thing is, it's not for everybody. I seem to respond with lots of sets, lots of reps. I love to just keep putting blood in that fucking muscle and just keep it going. I can hold a pump for an hour and a half. A lot of people can't do that. I can. So I like, why stop now? I'm still getting that pump. The blood is just going in there, and it's just expanding everything, and it's just gorging them up. That's me. That doesn't mean it's right for you. See, that's the problem when you watch these YouTube guys. They all say that they have the answer to training, and, you know, you follow me, I'll put a program out for you. No, everybody is different. There's plenty of people who will train like me and not get fucking anything from it. So I'm just telling you that, okay? Yeah. You know, but for me, that's the way I respond.
I hate the people that are the influencers who just yell at you like, you lifting shit, you know, you ain't shit, that, you know, you're a pussy, this and that. You got to learn how to lift. Those people, I just hate those people.
Listen to me.
They're yelling at you to the left. You ain't lifting
Joe,
shit.
When they quote Ronnie Coleman, you got to lift heavy damn weights. What Ronnie Coleman did was not heavy. Okay. Ronnie Coleman did what's heavy to you and I, but I've seen him do T-bar rows with like 400 pounds and get like 14 reps from it. So that's not heavy. For him, he's getting high reps with that. He didn't just do 3 reps. Like some of these idiots in the gym that sock the weights on it, or going to leg press and put all the pounds in the gym and come down like this and go, oh, look, I did 5 reps with that shit. What is that going to do? That's why your legs suck. My legs are better than yours, and I'm not on steroids, and I do 1 set. You can't go by that. There's too many. Go heavier, go home. Bullshit. Nobody cares about how heavy your concentration curl you do. It's not made to be done heavy. That's why it's a concentration curl. You know what I'm saying? Or heavy cable crossovers. That's ridiculous.
You ever see that Planet Fitness video where some guy's training at Planet Fitness and he put all the weights on the leg press, even the dumbbells? He took all the gyms on the weight. If I was in that gym, I would have smacked him. I would have been like, dude, get out of this gym.
You know what I would do? I would put on 2 plates on each side, 2. And I'd say, let me see you do 100 reps. But you can't do it. You're putting all that weight on you. You can't get any reps with that shit. He'll get like 20 reps and be like, I can't do it anymore. My legs are burning. You know, okay, well, then you fucking have no business doing that shit.
Yep.
Anybody can go down like this and put every weight in the gym on there. You're not going to grow from that, though. No. That's the ego thing.
Yep. Luciano says, we can all thank Kevin Levrone for Ronnie's first win. Kevin gave him shots of alcohol. Yes, that's true. I remember that.
Yeah, they said it, but Ronnie had just, he was destined to win. Even going up to that show, I saw what he looked like when he was training for that show. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I was talking to my partner, Paul, about it. And he was like, dude, look at him. He just looks, I mean, Ronnie looked amazing. That first Olympia and the second, I think the one after, he looked unfucking believable. It was the greatest Ronnie. I think it was the greatest Mr. Olympia body at that moment.
CK said, bodybuilding has too much of a bad reputation amongst the general public. However, there's so much more positive to this sport training we love. Do you guys think negativity ever change?
No. I think negativity is always going to be there. I think some people are jealous of guys that are super jacked. And I think a lot of guys that are super jacked also are cocky about it. And they think like that means they can fight. That means that they can fucking shoot a basketball, whatever. You know, there's some guys, their ego. You know, chicks don't give a shit. News Bolton, chicks don't care. Dad bods get fucking more girls than fucking, you know, guys who are ripped and jacked. Chicks don't give a shit about that. That's it. Men are visual, women are not visual. Do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't. And when you want to sit around and get jacked and then go to dinner with some girl and sit there and like, yes, I'll have this. I'll have the tilapia with just maybe some asparagus and shit. And then you're, you know, like you're eating like that shit. That doesn't impress a chick. You know what I mean? That's like, you know. Like, you know, she doesn't want to hear about your bodybuilding and you going to the gym and all that shit. That's a boring motherfucker.
Yep.
A lot of bodybuilders don't have personality, Joe. They just don't have a personality. You know?
I do think like in 10 years, I think, because it's starting to the TRT and stuff. I think in 10 years, people will be more relaxed. They get relaxed right now with steroids, but I hope it's legal.
No, I think what he's asking, no. If you read his question.
Yeah, I know about negativity.
I think what he's saying is the negativity. You got to understand something. If you show, Joe, if you took a picture of Nick Walker or Big Ramy, right, or one of these other guys, that other guy, the Iranian that won the Olympia, and if you take a picture of those guys, right, and we were like this, and you show women in your family, your next door neighbor, show your girlfriend's mother and all these other people, look at this guy, and then you show like a Mike O'Hearn or somebody like, they would take Mike O'Hearn any day of the week because he's got a pleasing build. That doesn't appeal to people like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think the negativity is the first thing somebody's going to do is, yo, dilute a fucking steroids. Dude, asshole, steroids. Go to a bar where dudes are drinking and shit. They don't give a shit if you're jacked up. They'll be like, I'll kick your fucking ass, bro. I'll break the big arms off and kick your fucking ass. I've seen it. That doesn't put fear into men. You got to be fucking kidding me. Show me a fucking jacked UFC guy. There's a few that are really built, but they're not huge.
Yep. Keith says, Berto Fox, I think he's where he belongs. Yeah, he's in jail.
No, he's not. He's out.
Oh, he's out, right? He got out.
Yep.
He just got out. That's crazy.
They were going to hang him. He should have been at least in jail for it. He killed those 2 women.
Yeah, he killed both of those women.
He's out now, though.
Yeah, that's right.
His mother-in-law and his wife.
Wow. AJ88 says, favorite cut of a steak? Both. I'm a T-bone man myself.
I'm T-bone. T-bone, or, you know, New York strip, whatever's a tomahawk, whatever somebody else is paying for, it always tastes better.
Keith said, legs are unbelievable. Most guys 50 and over have granny legs. Yeah, Greg, your legs are really good.
My legs are my specialty, bro. Well, I got that picture of me and I was I'm going to be honest with you. I was very shocked because Larry had some good wheels on him. You know, I don't think they're as good as mine, but that's just my, you know, of course, I don't think anybody's as good as mine, but I have to feel that way. But I was very impressed with Larry's legs. Very impressed. I was like, holy shit. But he has a different kind of structure than I do. I have really big hamstrings, and even my calves are jacked, and I don't even train them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jeremy said Kai Green natural was insane.
Kai Green is a monster. But Kai, if you're watching this, I know you're not, you know, but whatever. You don't stay where you are. Be the guy that's the uncrowned Mr. Olympia. Because if you come back and you place 10th, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, Keith said I may see Superman because of Josie, but Francesco is close to my age and said it was woke. It sucked. So Mike Francesco actually saw Superman and he said it sucked. Yes, Mike Francesco saw it and he said it sucked and everything. But you know, Mike Francesco grew up at a different time with Superman and he's not used to that. He doesn't like fantasy Star Wars stuff, people flying. You know, I mean, I don't like the woke stuff either, but it's not as bad as people think. And Superman is fine. You know, I think people should just go give it a try.
Mike Francesco and I are same age. I might even be a year older than him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Luciano, Kai Green is unique, but a nice guy.
Kai Green's a very nice guy. Oh, dude, let me tell you this. Kai Green will talk to you. He's a very nice guy. He was an unfucking believable natural bodybuilder. Unbelievable. I tell everybody when I was a natural bodybuilder, you know, I would have took on anybody because I was a little cocky like that, and I knew I was good. I'm not gonna lie. I was a very fucking good. I used to beat guys on juice all the time. And then I went to Johnny Latch gym to pick up my partner Paul. I used to train there, but I didn't see Kai there anyway. I went to Johnny Latch gym. Paul comes running out, tells me, "Bro, you got to see this kid. He's natural." And I'm like, "Oh, whatever. You know, he ain't better than me. You know what I mean? Fuck that shit." He came out. And he pulled off his shit and he was posted. I was there with a bunch of guys, right? It was a bunch of us. It's funny because I saw Chris Duffy walk by holding hands with another little Asian dude. But and when Kai posed, right, he was posing next to me. And I was like, holy shit. He had a fucking, I'm known for my back and my legs. He had a back and legs that I was like, holy fuck, you know, this guy might beat me. I think he could beat me. He was that good. He was really good natural bodybuilder, bro. That's why. Listen to me, you fucking guys don't get that. The guy has such great genetics and trained and won natural shows for like 10 years before he even started taking the Babanya. So that's why he can still look good now, not compete. He probably still fucks around with the Babanya, but he has such great genetics. He doesn't look any different than he did back then. You understand? Because he built a natural physique first. That's exactly what happened to me.
Well, Knight Rider said Steve got a visit from a couple of wise guys once, and he wasn't so tough then. He backed down real fast.
Let me just tell you, I don't know where you heard that. It could be true. Okay, Knight Rider. But I got to tell you something. Steve knew Gotti. He's in with guys that are wise guys too. So, you know, you're dealing with guys. John Gotti Jr. is friends with Steve Weinberger. I know for a fact. Okay, so he's not, you know, whatever. I don't know how true that is. You know, somebody told me that knew Steve bullshit. I'm going to tell you right now, I know for a fact. I've met John Gotti Jr. When I met him, he was when he was young, and there was a fucking air around that motherfucker where you just knew. But Weinberg's friends with them.
Yep. The dude 1983 said, "We got Bush."
1983. That a boy, dude. I know the dude. That's my guy. It's one of my guys.
Ronald Costa says, "Not for nothing."
Not for nothing. There you go.
Yeah. Keith said, "K Ryder, I heard that." The dude 1983 says, "Yo, Greg, I have a question. When your body produces natural growth hormone, will this cause cancer cells to grow as well? I'm in remission and this bothers me."
It can, yes. I was told by my cancer doctor that anabolic steroids are great. They're anti-wasting and everything. You can Google him. Eric Gendon, Genden. He has his own floor, and he's the leading #1 ENT fucking surgeon for throat cancer. He's on the cusp of all that. He's the breaking doctor with the medicines and all that shit. He's the #1 doctor with all that. He has his own floor in Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City, okay? And I'm telling you, he does TRT himself, and he said to me that testosterone is the future, you know, like, anabolics are the future of cancer treatments because look what it did for AIDS. It's anti-wasting. Now, he did say to me, don't ever fuck with growth. I never took growth hormone in my life. I was an androgen junkie. Love androgens. More androgens, the better. But growth hormone can cause, it's like throwing kerosene on a fire, okay, or gasoline on a fire. If you have like some sort of cancer on you and you start taking that, it could fucking make it grow. Yes. So stay away. I don't think you need growth hormone, especially if you're not fucking competing. I don't know what you need that shit for. Just take TRT.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ronald Cole says yes. Dan says Ronnie crazy strong. Bruno Valentino, Greg could easily make a bodybuilding comeback and show these women what a meal man looks like.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. But
Jeremy said they're giving out pro cards like candy. Isn't helping anything in the sport.
Who's that? Good giving out pro cards is
Jeremy said that.
Yeah. I don't too many pro cards now.
Yeah. Lou said, what's your thoughts on the if it fits your macros diet? It helps a lot. I only eat Pop-Tarts, cheese, and protein shakes.
You're not good. It's not good. I don't think that's good at all. If it fits your macros, I know all about that shit. I don't believe in it. Okay, I believe because you can eat a lot more food than you think you can if you eat good food. If you ate 1,000 calories of junk or 1,000 calories of good food, it's a totally different. You know what I mean? It's like if I get a builder here, a carpenter, I get the best carpenter, the best plumber, the best electrician, the best bricklayer, and I get them all here, right? And I give them the blueprints to build a house. I got an empty lot, and they're all going to say, okay, now give me the materials. And I bring them styrofoam, cardboard, and foam rubber. They're going to say, what am I going to do with this? You know what they're going to do? They're going to take it and just throw it in the backyard, store it somewhere. I say, now give me I need the wood. If you don't supply the right now, I know what you're saying. Protein shakes are not it. They're a supplement, means in addition to. You should be eating, chicken, eggs, steak, fish, shit like that. You gotta, and you gotta eat good. I don't believe in all that fit your macro. So you get a Pop-Tart in you. You know what your body says? That's like giving that's like giving cardboard to a builder, saying, here, build me a house. You can say, what am I gonna do with this? That's just feeding your taste buds. That's a bullshit thing, in my opinion. But regardless.
Dan had a nice porterhouse steak tonight. That's nice. Joe Matarazz, Venom123 said the man who was once known for his arms is now known for his legs. Talking about you, Greg, huh?
Yes, I'm tired of that arm shit. Oh. Thank you.
Who is more weirder, Nasser or Kai Green? I don't know.
Well, I get along very well with Nasser. Nasser's more intense weird. Kai Green's more like, I was out there and I would feel, the way butterflies fly. Why can't humans fly like a butterfly? And I was thinking maybe if we just lightened up our, whatever the fuck. He's more like out there. Do you understand? There's two different, they're both wacky, but in different ways.
Yep. Lift Plate says Kai Green is a guy that can talk for 15 minutes and you're not sure what he really said.
That's
he should have beaten Phil for one of those times. He should have beaten Phil Heath. Yes, he should have.
Yes.
Megan says Greg's book, Death, Drugs, and Bodybuilding is a must read. Hope everyone has bought it. Thank you, Megan.
Megan, I know you're a few different people on here. You were the guy who just asked me that other question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kai.
Ben Garcia, Kai Green and his boyfriend, the grapefruit, are nice guys. Hi, Joe and Greg. What's up, Ben?
Yeah, he did. He fucked a grapefruit.
CK, apologize if we shouldn't be asking. However, why hasn't Lee Priest been on the show?
Lee Priest right now, he was in Malaysia. I just talked to him.
He's doing a tour.
In Malaysia. He's doing a whole tour, European things. It's all over the place. Lee Priest is all over the place.
Yeah, and his hours are so much different. Right now. Yeah, I mean, he'll text me like 3 a.m, and it's like 8 over there, and I'm like, I'm sleeping.
I just talked to him. I think yesterday or the day before. He's all over the place. He was in Malaysia. He was telling me and Lucia he was on a plane. 30 fucking hours. 30 hours. Dude, 30 hours is a fucking hell of a ride. I'm bitching going to fucking Alabama, Fuck that.
Yeah, the dude 1983 said, thanks, Greg. I go to MD Anderson. I take TRT by a doctor. I was meaning when your body produces natural GH.
No, you don't have to worry about that. No. That's a different story.
Robert said,
go ahead. I'm sorry, Joe.
Mark Burton said, Greg, are you Momo t-shirts, ATA? I don't know.
I guess you know what it is? I print them up and then nobody buys them, so we wound up getting rid of them. You can go to like YouTube, I think my YouTube channel, and you can buy them. Right, you can get them off there. I don't like that's through YouTube, but they have them.
Yeah. Robert said, Greg, why don't you get a motorcycle?
Are you fucking kidding me? I can't even ride a Huffy. I have trouble with my car. It bounce off shit. The last thing I do. Forget about that. No way.
You could ride your mother-in-law on your back.
Holy shit, the bike would be like this. It'd be like a one-wheeler.
Yeah, it'd be like the Three Stooges. Remember, they got a tire, it just pops, boom.
Wait, I just want to say one thing. It's just to backtrack one quick second, Joe. I'm sorry. The dude, listen to me. When you say you're worried about your own growth hormone, stop worrying about stupid shit like that, okay? Because that's like people with cancer feeds off sugar, so they think, I'm never going to eat sugar again because I don't want to feed the cancer. I hate to tell you, news bulletin, your body makes can take bacon or butter and make fucking sugar out of that if it wants. It will find the sugar. So I get it, not eating it is fine, but stop worrying about growth hormone, your own growth hormone affecting you. You're fine.
Dan said Megan's profile picture looks like she's a 4th grade teacher.
That's so wrong. That's so wrong because Megan is the real Megan. The real Megan was the fucking 6-time Olympic champion. Okay, you guys don't even know. She's 6-time. She was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. 6-time fucking Olympic gold medalist, and she's married to my friend, Nate. You guys are fucking scandal. I know. The one person, and it's the same person who asked me that question before.
Yeah. Well, Greg, we're gonna wrap up. Yeah, it's an hour, man. We've been an hour already, man. Yeah, it's been crazy, right? It goes by quick.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Goes by quick, right? I want to thank Smalls, Brian, Marcos. Who else we got in there? We got Dan.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, man, it goes by quick.
Dude, did we start late? It can't be. I feel like
it's been an hour. We're an hour and 1 minute.
Wow.
Hour and 1 minute. Yeah, it goes by quick, right? Luciano, of course. Marcos, Keith, of course. Windward Attack, Jeremy, AR, William Allen. All you guys, appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, it goes by quick, right, Greg? We have a good time. It goes by,
Jesus Christ, you got to be kidding me. I feel 20 minutes.
I know, it's true, but I got to get up ready and get ready for work and do a bunch of stuff. But all right, guys. Well, thank you again for watching. We love you guys.
All right,
Greg,
guys.
Thank you, brother. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thank you, Joe. I love you guys, man. Sorry, but I didn't realize it went that fast.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.